This B-21 Raider is so insanely powerful that it makes the legendary B-20 Spirit look like a museum piece. Imagine building a bomber so advanced that enemy radars worth billions instantly become useless. Imagine flying a jet that can vanish in every direction, strike anywhere on Earth, and return home without a scratch. That's not just power, that's dominance. And yes, later in this video we'll reveal the single most mind-blowing feature of the B-21 that even the B-20 never dreamed of. Stick around, because you don't want to miss it. Welcome to Jet Insight. Today, we're diving into the 8 jaw-dropping reasons why the B-21 Raider will crush the B-20 Spirit in every single way. Get ready, because what you're about to hear will change how you think about stealth bombers forever. Let's start with the biggest weapon in the B-21's arsenal: the stealth revolution. The B-2 Spirit, when it rolled out in 1989, was revolutionary. It was basically invisible from the front, designed to slip past Cold War radar systems. For decades, it struck fear into America's enemies, proving that stealth was the ultimate advantage in modern war. But technology never stands still. Decades later, new radar arrays, multi-frequency sensors, and advanced computer systems started to close the gap. What once seemed untouchable was suddenly at risk of being tracked, even if only for a moment. And in stealth warfare, a moment is the difference between life and death. But here's the problem. Radar has evolved. Modern defenses don't just point forward. They surround targets with sensors from every angle. The B-2's stealth works best head-on, but from the sides and back, it's vulnerable. That's where the B-21 crushes it. The Raider has 360-degree stealth. No matter what direction radar hits it from, front, back, side, top, it simply vanishes. Think about that. A flying wing that's practically a ghost in the sky. The radar signature? Experts say it's about the size of a mosquito. Not a bird. Not a baseball. A mosquito. Try tracking a mosquito in the dark with a flashlight. That's what Chinese and Russian radar operators face when the B-21 shows up. Billions in defense systems, instantly useless. And this is just the beginning. Because the B-21 doesn't just disappear, it outsmarts enemy sensors. But before we reveal how, let's move to something that surprises almost everyone. Size matters, but not how you think. The B-2 Spirit is massive, a wingspan of 172 feet. The B-21? Smaller, around 132 feet. And at first glance, you'd think smaller means weaker. Wrong. Smaller actually means stealthier. Every square inch of surface is another chance for radar to bounce back. By trimming down the Raider, engineers slashed its radar cross-section even further. Now, payload-wise, the B-2 can haul 40,000 pounds of bombs. The B-21, just 20,000 pounds, half the load. But here's the twist. Modern weapons are so precise, you don't need a giant payload anymore. A single smart bomb today can do what dozens of old ones used to. So instead of bulk, the B-21 carries the deadliest, smartest, most efficient weapons in history. Less is more. And what's even more important is how this smaller, leaner design changes strategy itself. A bomber that doesn't rely on bulk is harder to predict, easier to move, and far more adaptable in global missions. The B-21 isn't just a lighter version of the B-2. It's a whole new philosophy in air power, where agility matters just as much as raw muscle. And here's the crazy part, because the smaller size also means the Raider can launch from more bases worldwide, land on shorter runways, and even need less maintenance. Flexibility the B-2 never had. But if you thought this was impressive, wait until we talk about the technology gap. The technology gap that changes everything. Picture this. When the B-2 was designed, the Soviet Union still existed. Cell phones were bricks. The internet wasn't in homes yet. The B-2 is essentially Cold War technology. Fast forward 30 years. The B-21 was born in the age of artificial intelligence, supercomputers, quantum materials. Every curve, every bolt on the B-21 was tested by algorithms millions of times. The Raider is literally designed by AI. The B-2's stealth came from coatings that needed constant reapplication. Expensive, fragile, a maintenance nightmare. The B-21? It uses new composite materials that are stealthy by nature. They don't peel, they don't wear down, they don't need babying in climate-controlled hangars. And if you've noticed, the B-21 isn't jet black like the B-2. It's a lighter gray. That's not a design choice, it's because its stealth materials work differently. They're stronger, lighter, and much harder for radar to detect. The difference here is staggering. It's like comparing an old cassette tape player to a modern smartphone. Both play music, but one belongs in history class. The other belongs in your pocket right now. That's the size of the leap we're talking about when you go from the B-2 to the B-21. But technology doesn't just make it stealthier, it makes it cheaper. Which brings us to the next shocking advantage. Cost and production advantages. Here's where the Raider blows the Spirit out of the sky. The B-2 Spirit program was supposed to build 132 bombers. Guess how many they actually made? Just 21. Why? Because each one ended up costing $2.2 billion. That's more than the military budgets of entire countries. Now compare that to the B-21 Raider. Average unit cost, $692 million. Less than one-third the cost of a B-2. And the Air Force plans to build at least 100 of them. But it gets even crazier. The Raider was designed with digital engineering. That means the difference between the computer model and the final product is less than 1%. That's unheard of. Usually, you see 15 to 20% differences that cost billions to fix. Translation? The B-21 is cheaper, faster to build, easier to maintain, and can actually be produced in meaningful numbers. America won't just have a handful of these. There will be enough to truly dominate the skies. And that changes everything. Because military power isn't just about having the best weapon. It's about having enough of them to overwhelm any threat. The B-2 was elite, but rare, almost a boutique bomber. The B-21 is designed to be powerful and plentiful, a nightmare combination for any adversary. But cost savings are only half the story. The B-21 also does something the B-20 never could. It can change the way we fight wars altogether. Operational capabilities that change everything. The B-2 Spirit was built for one job: deliver nukes during the Cold War. That's it. The B-21 Raider? It's a Swiss Army knife of modern warfare. First, range. The Raider can fly 2,500 miles without refueling. That's enough to strike anywhere on Earth from secure bases. Second, it's optionally manned, which means it can fly with pilots or completely autonomously. Imagine a stealth bomber sneaking into enemy airspace with no humans aboard. No risk, total control. Third, the B-21 isn't just a bomber. It's a flying command center. It can talk to satellites, drones, fighter jets, and ground troops all at once, giving real-time battlefield awareness. And here's the jaw-dropper. The Raider can control swarms of loyal wingman drones. These drones can scout, jam radar, or even sacrifice themselves to protect the Raider. It's like having a mini Air Force under the command of one invisible aircraft. The implications are massive, because now one bomber doesn't just strike targets, it orchestrates an entire battle. This makes the B-21 less of a single weapon and more of a central nervous system for modern warfare, capable of coordinating everything around it with unmatched stealth and precision. The B-2 was powerful. The B-21 is unstoppable. And when we get to its weapons, you'll see why enemies will never sleep easy again. Weapons and mission flexibility. The Spirit could carry a lot of bombs, but the Raider carries the future of warfare, conventional missions. The B-21 can launch JDAM smart bombs with pinpoint accuracy. Long-range standoff missiles? Check. It can strike targets from hundreds of miles away without even entering enemy airspace. Hard targets? The Raider can carry the massive Ordnance Penetrator, a 30,000-pound bunker buster that can dig hundreds of feet underground. Think about what that means. Even the deepest enemy command bunkers aren't safe. Nuclear missions? The Raider can drop B-61 and B-83 bombs plus the upcoming long-range standoff cruise missile, ensuring America's nuclear deterrence for decades. But the most dangerous part? The B-21 has an open systems architecture. Translation: it's built to plug and play new weapons as they're invented. Directed energy, hypersonics, AI weapons, you name it. The B-2 is stuck in 1980s tech. The B-21 is future-proof. That single design choice changes everything, because it means the Raider will never fall behind. While enemies spend years designing systems to counter today's weapons, America can simply slot in tomorrow's. It's like owning a game console that upgrades itself forever. You're always ahead, and your opponent is always playing catch-up. And speaking of the future, the Raider is already here. Production and deployment timeline. You might be thinking, okay, but when will the B-21 actually fly missions? The answer? Sooner than you think. The Raider's first flight happened November 2023. By 2025, multiple test aircraft are already flying, and production has officially begun. Funding is pouring in, $4.5 billion to accelerate development. Unlike the B-2, which needed special hangars just to survive, the B-21 can operate from standard bases. That means it can deploy anywhere in the world, fast. And that single fact gives America a massive edge, because flexibility in deployment means unpredictability in war. Enemies can't prepare for what they can't track, and they can't track a stealth bomber that can launch from dozens of bases across the globe. This turns the B-21 into more than a bomber. It's a permanent wildcard in any conflict. And here's the stunner. The first operational squadron is expected by the early 30s. That's lightning fast for a program this advanced. While enemies are still trying to figure out how to counter the B-2, the B-21 is already here, ready to crush their defenses. But what does this mean for America's rivals? That's where things get really interesting. Strategic implications for America's enemies. China has spent billions building anti-access, area denial defenses, radar, missiles, fighter jets, all designed to keep American forces out. The B-21 makes all of it useless. Their best radars can't see it. Their best missiles can't hit it. Their best jets can't intercept it. Russia? Same story. The S-400 and S-500 air defense systems are feared worldwide. Against the Raider? They might as well be fireworks. This is what strategists call deterrence through strength. The B-21 makes America so powerful that enemies are less likely to even try aggression. Because how do you fight what you can't see, can't stop, and can't survive? That's the heart of it. Every time the B-21 takes off, it projects silent pressure on adversaries. It forces them to second-guess every move, knowing that any bunker, base, or command post could be obliterated in total secrecy. This invisible shadow over enemy planning is worth as much as the bombs themselves, because it paralyzes decision-making before a single shot is fired. And remember that teaser from the start? Here's the secret weapon, the Raider's open architecture. This means it will keep evolving for decades. AI, quantum tech, hypersonics, even directed energy weapons can be added on. The B-2 spirit froze in time. The B-21 will grow stronger every single year. That's not just an upgrade, that's a revolution. The B-2 spirit ruled the skies for 3 decades. But the world has moved on, and the B-21 Raider is built to rule the next half-century. Every time this aircraft lifts off, it sends a chilling message across the globe. America's skies remain untouchable, and its enemies' billions are meaningless. The Raider isn't just a bomber, it's a symbol of unstoppable innovation, a constant reminder that American air power will always stay one step ahead. Where the B-2 once inspired awe, the B-21 inspires fear, forcing rivals to question whether their defenses matter at all. The B-2 spirit may have been yesterday's legend, but the B-21 Raider is tomorrow's nightmare, for anyone foolish enough to challenge it. If you love jets as much as we do, hit that subscribe button, because missing our next video would be like missing a stealth bomber flying right overhead. And trust me, you don't want that.